Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. What movie was this from, and who said it? It was Spider-Man, and it was Uncle Ben talking to his nephew, Peter Parker. Peter's great power, or talent, as it will, didn't work out so well for him. In the movie, Uncle Ben dies, and in the end, he doesn't get the girl. What was missing here? With the gospel today, Jesus tells the parable of the talents. A talent was an ancient unit of value and weight. It weighed about 75 pounds, a mixture of silver and gold, and its value was upwards of $1,000. When the servant with 5 doubled to 10, and the servant with 2 doubled to 4, all seems well and good. Jesus says, since you were faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities. Do you really think he was talking about money and doubling the value of money in the talents? No. He says, since you were faithful in small matters. Faithful. If we look at our Catholic catechism, Christian faithful means becoming sharers in Christ's royal office. Also, that we are called to exercise the mission which God has entrusted us with. There is more to this parable beyond what most people hear. Remember, Jesus told parables because he was aiming the meaning to certain individuals. So those individuals could hear the parable and understand it, while many could not. And what about the servant who just takes his 1 talent and buries it? You wicked, lazy servant, take his talent and give it to the one with 10. It is very easy to hear this parable and think that the person with the most talents is the one better off. For he says, for everyone who has, more will be given, and he will grow rich. But what is Jesus really telling us in this parable? I can tell you that it is not about the one who gets the most possessions and becomes the richest. The point of the gospel is this, that the owner, representing God in this parable, is demanding, and we are all held accountable to God. Let us go back for a moment to the gospel from last Sunday about the 10 bridesmaids. 5 of them ran out of oil, and they missed the banquet. The point was that we need to be ready when God calls us. Our reading from St. Paul today is centered on that same theme when he says, be sober and alert. In our first reading today from Proverbs, we learn that we should be diligent and studious as the loyal and faithful wife is. But in that reading, her value was not in her beauty or charm, but in her wisdom, in her awareness of the real priorities in life. There was a gentleman named Murray Garson. Murray and his brother owned a $75 million business during World War II. 10 years later, the Detroit Press carried this brief report. Garson, penniless and homeless, died last night in Bellevue Hospital, where he was taken after he had been sleeping for 3 weeks in his physician's waiting room because he was broke. This invites us to inventory our own lives. Is my priority more on acquiring or becoming? In our gospel parable, the talent is not about the money or the possessions or the treasure. When Jesus is talking about, what he is talking about is he's talking about the kind of profit or reward that a Christian is meant to be striving and aiming toward the love of God and sharing our gifts with others. And in the end, being accountable to God our Father in heaven. What is your talent? Seriously, what is your talent or gift? Many of you know Erica Anderson, Jen and Kevin's daughter. We know her from her beautiful voice, for when she comes home for holiday, she often joins our choir. She studied music in high school, in college, and graduate school, and she has truly taken what God has entrusted and made the most of her talent. Well, I remember little Erica when she was only 5 or 6 years old, when she started at Holy Family Catholic Church, or at school. We had a talent show, and Erica got up and announced, "My name is Erica Anderson. I am a good singer, and I am going to sing for you." She knew her talent even at age 5, and she let it shine her entire life. And we and many others have benefited from her beautiful, talented voice. We all need to be responsible for the talents that our Master has entrusted to each one of us. We must be like the little child. Trust in God and be not afraid to stand up, to let others see and share our gifts. The gifts that we should be using for God's glory. It is then, when the Master shows up, we will be ready. And so I leave you with this. I challenge you this week to take a few moments in prayer, thinking and praying about what your talent or gift is and how you could share it with others. May you have a blessed day.